The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Thank you, DJ Lynn. Welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Today is Thursday, November 12th. And this morning we continue with our regular segment, speaking with lovely folks from the RCIPS. And this segment is usually held every second Thursday of the month. And in this segment, we'll touch on security and the business crime prevention workshop and a whole lot more. Our guest in the studio this morning, Ms. Jody-Ann Parry. Jody-Ann is a police media officer for the Cayman Islands Police Service. And we have Police Sergeant Pompey and PC Donaldson. They're both representing from the Community Policing Unit. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Radio Cayman. You're no stranger in here. But welcome back, I should say.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So, you guys look so smart in your uniform.
Thank you, Anita.
Like I said earlier, the only person who's missing this morning is the police commissioner. This morning we were talking basically about security and crime prevention and just about everything else that Jody can fit into this segment. Right, Jody?
Yes, we are only here once a month, and so we have to make the best of it.
That's right. That's right. Well, let's jump right into things this morning. How about giving us some details of the security and business crime prevention workshop that the Community Policing Unit has been putting on? Well,
that is definitely something that is headed by the Community Policing Unit, and so I'll hand that over to Sergeant Pompey, who is the sergeant in charge of the Community Policing Unit and is currently the acting head of the unit as well, and PC Donaldson, who is in charge of Beat 6.
Beat 6?
Yes, which is the Prospect Red Bay area.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Making note.
So, Anita, yes, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
The crime prevention workshop is something that I initiated in August with the different security companies on island. It's a 3-hour workshop which provide information on situational awareness. The workshop also provide information on identification of signs and risk, awareness of surrounding and behavioral pattern. It's broken down in 4 categories. We do crime prevention through environmental design. We do the duties of the security officers. We do a crime scene preservation and robbery deterrent. So that's 4. It's a packed program for 3 hours. That is the workshop.
That's where is the workshop normally held?
Well, we go to the companies.
Oh, to the
businesses. So wherever the businesses are, we go to them. We use their training room or their meeting room. We facilitate that process.
It sounds like a heavy 3 hours.
It's a lot of information to pack in 3 hours.
Who normally conduct those sessions?
Myself and PC Donaldson conduct those training. One might ask, how do you come about doing this? A couple of years ago, I was trained in Florida on crime prevention, Jacksonville and Oklahoma. So I have that experience, and so rather than keeping things to myself, I have to share it out with the others. So Donaldson, also coming from Jamaica, has quite a lot of experience in crime prevention because he would have done quite a number of training there also.
Okay.
PC Donaldson, you're not gonna get away from the mic.
Right, in living up to the vision of the RCIPS in making the Cayman Islands safer, we want to empower our security officers to act as police officers in our absence. So we train them as it relates to crime prevention, how to effectively manage scenes of crime, their roles and function, when to call the police, because we want to empower them not to wait until a situation escalated and get out of control when they call the police. We want them to be proactive, call the police as soon as they observe that a situation might get out of control, so that as law enforcement officers we can intervene and do the necessary to reduce crime.
How much authority do they have at that point if something does happen?
So that's why we empower them as it relates to the legal limitation. The police officers are trained to deal with situations like those, and they are merely security officers just to act as eyes of police, as also to protect property and their clients' businesses.
So they take control of the situation and they call you, you come in, and that how this works. Now, just Pompey, how about if you just emphasize a little bit more on each one of those topics, if you can.
Okay, so just before getting there, apart from the security awareness, another aspect why we are doing this is to forge that relationship between the police and the security companies. Because sometimes you find, and it's true, you find that police go to scenes and they are security officers, and the first thing they say, oh, I didn't see anything, I don't know anything. So once we establish that relationship and we work together, we put them in the frame of, you are the police in the absence of the police. Then we have that relationship where we can say, okay, now that we are there, this is what happened. We put them in that position so they know that before the police arrive, I have to do certain things. I have to protect a scene. And one of the main thing that we do at our training is robbery prevention. Because most of the time in robberies at businesses, you have security officers who are pretty much exposed. So in terms of the workshop, so I'll start with crime prevention through environmental design. And we look at the elements of crime. How does a crime happen? What it takes for a crime to happen. And the reactive versus the proactive side of policing. And at the sessions, we remove the word policing. So it's the reactive versus the proactive side of security officers. We look at crime prevention in itself through environmental design. We look at situational crime prevention. We look at practical crime prevention measures and the involvement of the communities. It's quite a lot, as I said, within a 3-hour period, because when we look at all of this, the crime prevention through environmental design is how you design your environment to minimize crime from happening. I'm a security officer. I'm working here. What do I do to keep the criminals out? The thing is, you also always have to be one step ahead of the criminals. Police know that. So what we are doing, as Mr. Donaldson says, is empowering them to understand that while you're at that workplace, you must be able to keep one step ahead of the criminal. And one of the things we use is being observant. And for example, you have a security officer who sits, let's say, all day on his cell phone, and things are happening around him, and he does not understand how important it is to be observant. And then something happened, and he said, oh, I wasn't aware of that.
I didn't see it.
So this training, we have got some positive feedback. Officers have said, listen, I learned some things that I took for granted that it is not.
Is this a free session?
That's the whole idea. Yes, it is. And I think one of the companies asked, why is this a free session, given the type of information coming out? Well, as I said before, 1, we want to create that security awareness. 2, we want to form that partnership with the security officers. So, yes, we're going to do it free.
And the businesses as well.
Yes, and we have had quite a number of persons who have come up to us outside of security. We do this to other other companies. This is something that's been going on for years. It's just this year we decided to turn to the security companies because we see how important it is for their involvement in crime reduction.
And it makes your job easier too?
Very much easier, because the thing is, as I said, they are the eyes and ears out there of the police, or the police in the absence of the police.
Police in the absence of the police. I like that. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. This is Anita Khan. And as my guest this morning in the studio, Ms. Jodianne Powery. Jodianne is a police media officer for the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. She's brought with her some sturdy help. Police Sergeant Pompey and PC Donaldson and Pompey, they're from the Community Policing Unit. And to be more specific, PC Donaldson is from Beat 6. I have to try and remember that.
Yes.
Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. Jodianne, I think I guess somebody's going to take it, right? This question.
Yeah.
What are some safety tips that you would offer to business owners?
Well,
which could make their business less of a target.
First of all, I'd like to say on our website, we actually have a crime prevention page.
Okay.
And on that page, there are a list of safety tips and crime prevention tips that persons may choose to read through and see if they would benefit from any of those tips. One of those is crime prevention for businesses, and it talks about crime prevention from anything from shoplifting in your stores to preventing robberies and inside jobs, so to speak, of your employees taking advantage of your business and vice versa. But in terms of safety tips for businesses, one of the things, and I know that Black Friday is coming up, and there'll be a lot of sales going on, and then there's Christmas coming right around the corner. So some of the things that people have to pay attention to and they might take for granted is, making sure that their windows, their store windows are not excessively blocked with decorations or advertisements or even the store things on display, so that there is a clear visibility through to your store from the outside in the event that something is happening inside and you need help from the outside.
Jodianne, we have 3 callers on the line, so you must be important this morning, or the subject. We're going to take a quick break. We'll ask the callers to hold the line for us. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to the calls.
For 46 years, our Cayman Insurance Center family has worked to protect your family and your most valuable assets. And we are happy to announce that our offices are now reopened to better serve you. For your added convenience, you can also make payments online or make inquiries by phone or email. Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family. As your family's health is everything, do all that you can to protect it. For your family's safety, social distancing practices are in effect at our offices, and masks should be worn. From our Cayman Insurance Center family to yours, stay safe, stay Cayman strong. For more information, call 949-4657.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
Radio Cayman News. A small craft warning and a flood warning in effect for Cayman today as it's starting to feel the effects of Tropical Depression Eta.
We've seen some extended periods of rain this morning.
Strong winds and rough seas are expected across the Cayman area over the next few days.
The track has it coming back into the Northwest Caribbean. That will change the dynamics of the wind direction.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Business Buzz. Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This morning, we're speaking specifically with the RCIPS. We have in the studio Jodianne Powery. Jodianne is a police media officer, and we have P.S. Pompey and P.C. Donaldson, and they are from the Community Policing Unit. Welcome again. Good morning. It's great to have you three in the studio.
Thank you for having us.
I like all this information. It's stuff I don't hear every day, and I believe it's information that listeners need to hear from time to time. So having this segment the second Thursday of every month is just great. Now, before we took that break, we had callers on the line, but they're gone. And they didn't want to wait. Okay. Well, callers, if you want to call us back, these guys are willing to take your calls. So, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to help you. So please feel free to call again. Now, cash management, safe cash management. What sort of procedure can business owners use to reduce the opportunities for robbery and theft?
Well, feel free to jump in at any point, guys. But one of the first things is to make sure that you don't have a high amount of cash on hand in your business. Make sure that you do drop-offs regularly, and make sure that you don't do drop-offs at the same time with the same procedures every single day, so that your movements aren't easily tracked and mimicked, so to speak.
Yeah, so at least once per day. Once per day, maybe.
Yeah, it really depends, but that's a very good point that Spar just made. Criminals look at your movement, and hence they are going to look at the pattern. If taking your cash from your business to the bank is done every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, they're going to know. If it's done by the same person, they're going to know. If it's done with the same bag, they're going to know. Because what they do, they actually look at your movement, they assess, and then they act. So what you have to do is to pretty much change that up. You don't go every Tuesday. You don't go every 10 o'clock. You don't go with the same person, and you don't use the same bag. So it's difficult for them to know when you are going to do that.
And that's they have to stake out all day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that comes out in our training.
Right.
Because you find the security officers are the ones who will probably escort to the bank and so on. And people are going to look at the security every 10 o'clock on Tuesday that he or she is going to the bank. And they're using the same bag. They're going with the same person. And those are things that business owners really, really need to have a grip on.
Thank you, Pompey. We have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling on the Business Buzz.
Good morning. How are you guys? Everybody's okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for calling.
I'm good.
That's good. A quick question regarding, I think you say, guys, I just tuned in, so I just managed to catch some of it. You guys said that you guys are having a seminar and training for securities and everything, or... I didn't touch. I missed something about the seminar that's on Friday.
It's a security and business crime prevention workshop that the RCIPS Community Policing Unit is putting on.
Is it just for? Can business owners also come to the meeting for their seminar, or just the security?
Well,
good morning, caller. If you want your employees to be trained, you can contact myself and Sergeant Pompey at the numbers are 936-1853.
917-8044. Or you can speak with we have a media team. Jody is here, who is part of the media team.
Yes, and you can email our office at pr@rcips.ky.
Okay, well, as I said, thanks for that info, because I didn't catch it. I tuned in a little late, so I just heard it going off, saying that you're having a seminar. Because as a business owner, I would be interested, to come to it, to hear and understand, more of the sort of better for my company and everything.
Yes, ma'am. We're happy to help.
Okay.
Caller, they come to you. They come to you.
Yes,
they conduct the workshop at your business place. Would that work for you? Hello?
I think she's
gone.
She's gone.
Thanks to that caller. Maybe you guys might want to recap on that. So, since you just missed the first part of the show.
All right. So, the crime prevention workshop that we are doing is for businesses. If you have a business and you think you want to benefit from what we are doing, you can contact the media team. Jody just gave an email address. You can contact me on 917-8044, or you can contact Officer Donaldson. Once you do that, we'll make the arrangement and have everything in place for you.
And the email is pr@rcips.ky.
All right. Thank you guys for that. Jumping back into some tips. Alarm systems. Most people, most businesses, I'm pretty sure, have one installed by now, pretty much so. But can alarm systems serve as a deterrent to potential burglars? And what should business owners do to ensure that those alarm systems are working properly?
Absolutely, alarm systems can deter crime. One of the things that we encourage people to do is to make sure that when they install their alarm systems, they also display their decals. Because there's no sense in putting in an alarm system if nobody knows about it. Mm-hmm. Because then your business, you'll sustain damage even if the alarm goes off. If somebody's trying to break in, the point is to try to discourage them from trying in the first place.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you, I've seen those signs. I'm like, why would I want to advertise I have an alarm system?
Well, it's because displaying that you have an alarm system means that people will know that you have the alarm, and then your business would then, or your home would then be less likely a target of crime.
And it's not a mock decal. It's actually serviced by a
absolutely
security system.
And speaking of servicing, is to make sure that your alarm system is serviced regularly so that you know that it's working for a fact every single time.
Okay.
So far we've touched on businesses, but I just want to encourage residents. Vehicle safety. Never leave anything visible to opportunists, criminal, your handbag, gadgets, nothing at all.
Telephone,
not even a quarter.
A quarter?
Not even a quarter. Yeah. They'll smash your glass, gain entry, leave you to repair damages. So never leave anything, not even a bag of garbage on the back seat. You might eat your lunch and leave it on the back seat. It will attract criminals because they're not knowing that it's garbage inside. Right. They'll break to find out what it is and take it.
Or a habit I have coming from the post, checking my mail, is leaving all my mail on my front seat. Is that no?
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
Straight up, that's a no-no. Yes. I mean, there's no money in the envelopes.
Yeah. They don't bills. They don't know.
They can have
that.
The bills.
They don't know that.
Okay.
Because when you talk about envelope, people use envelope to put money in. Mm-hmm. So seeing an envelope on the seat might just attract them that maybe that's a salary in the envelope. They don't know. So they can't get in, so they're going to break the glass. Your insurance may not cover that. So that's something out of pocket that you have to go now to
I didn't know that either.
Oh, yeah. So these are the things that people have to understand. And despite doing our crime prevention workshop for businesses, we also go out in the community, hand out pamphlets, doing crime prevention tips on a one-on-one to community people. And we talked a lot about alarm system, which is a form of deterrent. Light is also a form of deterrent. Cameras is also a form of deterrent. It may not stop all criminals, but it can minimize some of their opportunities.
So that's basically leaving a light on your property.
Yeah, and there's some light that comes with sensors.
Motion sensors.
Right. So you walk across close to within a proximity and it's going to come on. Mm-hmm. They're going to see you. Mm-hmm. You have cameras that are recorded day and night. And those are some of the things that help police in solving their crime. Because if we don't have cameras and we don't have an eyewitness and we don't have forensic evidence, sometimes it takes you down a dead-end road where it's almost over without having a result. But when you have a camera, an eyewitness, and forensic, then you know you're heading in the right direction. So it's just some things for persons to consider. Whether or not you don't have to go ahead and buy a $20,000 camera set. There's some simple, cheap, inexpensive bulb cameras that you can use, $30-40 and these can at least help you to secure yourself.
Even a nanny cam can work.
I'm
not sure how much they cost, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who have friends who have nanny cams.
Yes,
and
it
it's
works.
a position that they can see their front door.
Yes.
Going back to light, Pompey. Back in the days, I learned that you don't leave your lights on, because if someone comes with a torchlight and they're trying to, a flashlight, they're trying to get into your property. You'll see them doing that. So I guess that's out the window. Make sure you have your place well lit.
Light is very important.
It's very important.
And let's look at residential areas. If you have a light on, the criminal is not only thinking about who is in the house may see him, but the neighbors who is across the road can also see them. But just imagine that you take your light off every night and the place is so dark. Nobody is going to see them. And light is a form of deterrent. It is.
Okay, I agree. I'm working here with you.
The point of committing a crime for a criminal is to make sure that they're not caught. And having light on your property, whether it be a business or your home, increases their chance of being seen, whether by you or by by people walking by, exercising, by your neighbors. So that's why light is extremely important.
So if I'm an inquisitive neighbor and I see someone come, and I'm living next to Pompey, and I see someone trying to get into his home, trying to break in, I don't have the neighbor's number because we're not in good terms. I'm just saying.
Well,
how can I report such criminal?
In that situation, the absolute only thing that you should be doing if you see somebody trying to break in is call 911.
911, okay.
Yeah, that is a very serious situation. It could cause not only property loss but also injuries to persons and the likes. And so the first thing that you should do is call 911 immediately and give as much information as you possibly can.
How does someone, besides calling 911, is there another system where someone can report any suspicious activity or even provide an anonymous tip to the RCIPS?
Certainly. We have a mobile app and a website. And on our website and mobile app, we have a submit a tip function on there. And you can choose to submit a tip anonymously, or you can choose to leave your information if you require feedback based on the information that you provided. A lot of people do want to know that we've done something with the information that they've provided to us, and we do provide that feedback to them as well. But if you want to be anonymous, you can submit your tip anonymously without leaving any information. I want to stress as well that we don't require a sign up for either our website or our mobile app, so there's no way to trace the information at all on our end. So it will be completely anonymous if that's the route that you choose to go. Our submit a tip function has media upload, and so you can send us videos and pictures as well if it is safe for you to do so.
Okay. At this time, we'll take a break. I want to thank our sponsors before we do so. Cayman Insurance Center, thank you. Celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. I want to say thank you as well to Cayman Medical Supplies for their proud sponsorship of the Business Buzz today. Cayman Medical Supplies providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
For 46 years, our Cayman Insurance Center family has worked to protect your family and your most valuable assets. And we are happy to announce that our offices are now reopened to better serve you. For your added convenience, you can also make payments online or make inquiries by phone or email. Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family. As your family's health is everything, do all that you can to protect it. For your family's safety, social distancing practices are in effect at our offices, and masks should be worn. From our Cayman Insurance Center family to yours, stay safe, stay Cayman strong. For more information, call 949-4657.
JN Money Card. But when my land up a JN, me get the money card with them. Just show them your ID and give them your TRN. Go and use at the ATM or swipe instead then. And when you need more cash, and make your family send it in a flash. From abroad to card, get the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. JN Money Card only available and used in Jamaica. Call 345-945-2014 for details.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Cistern water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use after a hurricane. Simply leave the water for 1 minute after it begins to boil, or to disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky. Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the final segment in the Business Buzz this morning. In the studio, we have our guest, Jodianne Parway. Jodianne is a police media officer for the RCIPS, and she brought along P.S. Pompey and P.C. Donaldson, and they're both from the Community Policing Unit. And we've covered quite a lot this morning, but they have so much more to go. And looking at the clock on the wall,
yes,
we just about have to 8 minutes more of this discussion. But you know what? We're going to make the most of it.
Absolutely.
Jodianne, can you give us some closing points on the various changes at the RCIPS Business Center?
Right. So, as you're probably aware, our business center sustained a fire recently. Mm-hmm. And based on the damage that was done, our offices are closed to the public. So we are, but I want to be clear, we are functioning as per usual. However, all our application processes are done strictly online. We're not accepting members of the public in office at this time.
Okay.
And so if you are applying for a police clearance certificate, then that application should be done through eservices.ky. And currently, due to our offices being closed directly after the fire, there is a little bit of a backlog in the application process, and we're currently working with a 14 to 16 day turnover for those. So we're encouraging people to apply well in advance of the time that they need their police clearances, so that they don't have any delays in whatever business that they need to carry out with their police clearance certificates. All other applications that you require, such as police reports, you can do those on our website, which is rcips.ky, and you can submit those through the website, or you can download the form and email them into cro@rcips.ky.
For those people who don't have access to the internet, are they able to get a form, say, from some other source?
If you don't have email access, what I would encourage you to do is probably attend one of our police stations and explain, and we'll see how best we can assist you in that way.
Okay, maybe download a form for
that on your
person.
behalf and assist. Okay. Yes.
Very good. how can folks keep up to date with RCIPS? I have the app on my phone.
That is good news. I'm so happy to hear that. Well, you mentioned the app. The mobile app is just called the RCIPS mobile app. You just type in RCIPS in either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. It's absolutely free. There is no sign up. It takes very minimum storage, and it gives you instant notification on all our press releases, all our traffic alerts, and it also allows you to use all the functions of our website, which is rcips.ky again, but in a more user-friendly mobile way.
And Anita, for persons listening to us who maybe have doubts about who their community beat officers are, the mobile app also puts you to that it's a portal that you'll be able to see wherever you're living, your beat 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, you'll see who the beat officer is.
No, I didn't get that far on my app. I normally keep up with what's happening with the traffic and any accidents.
So on the app, we have the community beat page. On the beat page, we have a beat map. And you'll select the number that corresponds with your community, and it'll show you your beat officer. And you'll see a picture of the beat officer, the name of the officer. It'll also have their email address and their telephone number on there. And you don't even have to type out the email address or type out the number in case you just click on it, and it'll go directly either to your email or to your call list, and you can contact them that way.
What did we do without technology? Oh my gosh! But it's a very nice app. It works, and it works well. Now, going back to before we come to the end of the line, how about some main points relating to the community policing that you'd like to leave with our listeners, and also recap on that workshop?
Well, if I recap on the workshop, I'll just reach out to all the business owners. If you really want to be part of our workshop, we have given some email addresses and telephone numbers before. If not, you can call the Community Policing Department, 9494-222. The extensions are 3055 and 3056. Just make it easier for you. Otherwise, you can use the app and you can speak to the officers from the media section. We'll be more than happy to come to your location and do this for you, and it is free, of course.
When is there an end date to this, or
no? It's not. There's no end date.
No end date. You guys
crime don't have an end date.
I absolutely agree.
So we don't have an end date.
The workshops are done based on the need of the community, and so once somebody expresses an interest in having their employees or their security officers trained, then the community officers will come out and assist as soon as they can settle a time and date for that.
How long does that process, that setting up time takes?
Less than a week.
Roughly, okay.
Less than a week. Because we have the material, we have everything already in place. It's just a matter of you saying, yes, I want, and we just arrange a time. Once it doesn't conflict with another of our events. Just to mention also, we are heading up to the Christmas season, and it's one of our busiest times. Couple Fridays from now, it's going to be Black Friday. So we are on the process from the community policing perspective of putting quite a number of things in place for Black Friday and for the Christmas season.
Sounds good to me. Anything else you want to leave with our listeners this morning?
Just want to encourage listeners to continue to be safe. The mission of RCIPS is working with our communities, working for our communities. So we are ready to train our business owners and security officers to make the Cayman Islands safer.
And it might be remiss of me if I didn't say this, Anita, but you'll be doing a fantastic job. For the couple of mornings I've been listening to you on my way into work on the business bus. So congrats.
Okay, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that.
Anita, I also want to express that our community officers, they do a lot of work in the community, not just the the crime prevention workshops, and you can keep up to date on some of the things that they're doing by looking at our following our various social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we often post about some of the good work that they do, like their most recent project, which was the car washes at the various primary schools to aid in the lunch fund program.
I remember those. I've been
Yes.
plugging them for you Saturday morning.
yes.
PC Donaldson, anything?
Yeah, we also donated a portion of our salary to Feed Our Future. I think it was in August.
Yeah.
So
Very
we're
good.
committed to the
Very
Cayman
good.
Islands.
I'm so proud of the RCIPS.
Thank you.
You guys do a wonderful job. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for your service. So, no other closing comments.
No, that's it from us.
That's it.
Thank you.
Jody, and I can't
I think
believe
it's a
that
lot
from you.
for them to
I
have.
can't believe to hear that. I can't
To
believe hear
soak
that
up.
from you.
One of the things, though, we do get criticisms at times from the general public. Criticism is good, criticism is bad. But when you see an officer is doing something good, I will also encourage the public to report it that. Praise him, commend him, whether you do it through the supervisors, do it through the commissioner of police. Not all the time when they do something bad, you have to report everything that is bad. But when they do something good, I really want to put this out there to the community, to the listening public. Commend them for what they're doing. And the reason why I say this, not just the community policing department, but I can speak for that department. They are doing a lot of work within the last couple of months. They have even given up some of their time when they should have been on their leave to coming to do work for the community. And I honestly appreciate what they are doing.
And you're doing a good job, Sergeant Pompey.
Thank you.
Pompey was in my class, you know. He
Yeah.
loves radio.
Yes.
He loves radio.
Yeah.
Broadcasting class.
He does.
So to hear him say that to me this morning is like, okay, very good. I want to say thank you to you folks for coming in this morning. Jody Ann, thank you so much. Jody Ann Powery is a police media officer, RCIPS, and PS Pompey and PC Donaldson. Thank you. Those guys are from the community policing unit. I want to thank you so much for sharing this morning. I've learned a whole lot.
Yeah.
And thanks to our caller as well. Our next date on the Business Buzz for the RCIPS will be December 10th. Jody Ann, I'm pretty sure you have that locked in your calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
And that will be the final show for the RCIPS here for this year. Feel free to join us again on Tuesday for another Business Buzz. This is your host, Anita Khan. Thanks to DJ Lynn for manning the board, the cameras, the telephone, the door, and just about everything else in between. Thanks to our producer, Susan Watson, for putting all of this together. Please enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.
Business Buzz.
The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 46 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And also brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only two species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports that 184 COVID-19 tests have been carried out since this was last reported on Tuesday, November 10th. All were negative. The total number of people in isolation, either at a government facility or in their homes as required by the Medical Officer of Health, is 898. In news elsewhere, Texas on Wednesday became the first state with more than 1 million confirmed COVID-19 cases, and California closed